think probably my main motivation for climbing is I'm really into the outdoors. I enjoy anything that involves going outside, and I enjoy doing sport, so it's kind of the perfect way to combine the two, really. I've always been outdoors a lot. Like my parents always, every weekend we'd go out for walks, or whenever we'd go on holidays we'd usually come to places like the Peak District rather than sort of going on like a beach holiday or something. So I think I kind of enjoy being in these sorts of environments, and this is kind of like a natural way to do that, and also pursue a sport. And I've always done sports, but I think climbing is probably the one that seems to be the most fulfilling in terms of variety, and it takes you to some pretty cool places that you probably wouldn't go to otherwise. I'm from Norwich, so I started at the local sports park, which was called UEA, so that was part of the university, and there was like an old one of the old resin textured walls, so I started there, and then moved to Sheffield for university, kind of like everyone else does, and then just stayed. Initially it was essentially just born out of watching old climbing films and wanting to make similar things, and also I think not having that much access to climbing outside. If you film when you do get to go climbing outside, and then you get to sort of watch it back and make a video with it, it's a good way of getting a bit more longevity out of the climbing that I was doing before I lived in Sheffield. And now it's kind of grown beyond that into an interest and profession of its own outside of climbing. I mean, most of what I do is still climbing based in some way, but I would do it if I wasn't climbing now, whereas initially it was more of felt natural to do it alongside climbing. I think for me it was really valuable when I was in my early days of climbing, coming to the Peak District with some of the more experienced climbers from Norwich, because there wasn't a big scene, and kind of when I was first starting there wasn't much in the way of media around how to get better at climbing or how to climb well or anything like that. So I always found it most valuable to sort of go with these more experienced people and learn from them, and I think it's just a good way to go about improving and getting more into the sport, because it's not only fun because you're actually out with your mates, but if you're out climbing with people that are better than you and know more than you just kind of get better through going climbing with them, maybe.